Oh, right. Well, Claire, it has been a great conversation. And I feel like we're going to spend a lot of time here. We have so much to talk about. I don't feel like we barely even touched the surface in introducing you, but here it is. It's running out of time. So why don't you tell us how people can get a hold of you, and we'll just start there.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So I have email accounts, and that's Del Sol Medicina, DELSOLMEDICINA.gmail.com, and the same name on Instagram. And then I have a website which is called holagala.com. And that's HOLAJALA.com. And there you can see all the products we make, and you have all the information and everything we
We'll
do.
put this as a link into when we publish this. I'll put those links into the description of the show, so that way people can just click on it. We'll make it easy for them.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm really happy I could share this moment and words with you and reconnect. And I thank so much all the people who listens. Thank you for their ears. And I send them lots of love and hugs for their hearts. And so it was a nice moment for me because it was my very first podcast. And so I'm so happy. And I love you all, and thank you so much.
You did great. Well, thank you so much, Claire. And we'll see you all next week or next time we publish. Have a great time. In recording. All right. And I'd like to welcome everybody to the Healthy Living Podcast, brought to you by Willow Creek Springs. And I have a very special guest here with us today. And this is Claire, medicine woman from Mexico. And she came on an episode ago, and she told us a little bit about her life story and how she came to bring medicine to people and even helping herself. And how you doing, Claire?
I'm good. I'm happy to hear you.
Welcome to the show. I'm excited that you could join us again. And I want to kind of jump into it. You know, we're trying to keep these episodes down under half an hour. And, you know, me, I'm a little long-winded, so I try to control myself a little bit. But one of the things when you were on last time, you said something about you traveled around the world. Like, it was just like, you just mentioned it. And to me, I was like, wow, you know, that is the coolest thing. I mean, that's one of my dreams. I've traveled a little bit, and every time I go somewhere, it's exciting. It's an adventure. And you said you learned, you know, from medicine people and different tribes, different groups of people. And to me, I thought that was just really, really interesting. So I was hoping maybe you could share a little bit about some of your travels.
Yes, thank you. So yes, about you just said, it's like I don't feel I'm a medicine woman, you know. It's like we all have medicine inside, and we all are medicine. So I'm just a woman and happy to be a nice human being. I hope so, at least.
Fair enough. I'll bow to that. But you know what? I think that what you just said is important. We all are medicine. Yes. And I think everybody, if everybody recognized that they're bringing medicine into the room, maybe we'd all get along a little better.
Right. And yes, so yeah, there are people traveling around, and there are people traveling in their minds, and there are people just staying home, and that's all good. And for me, traveling was like going away, you know. It's hard for me to stay in one place. It's really hard. So I'm always thinking about what I'm going to do next and where I'm going to go next. And it has been like this almost till I remember.
Wow.
So when I was maybe 17, I just wanted to go. I was living in France, and I wanted to go away, and I wanted to go to Africa. And so obviously it was hard to get a permission, because you needed the permission for your parents, like
Right.
being a minor. And so I finally convinced them so I could go. And it was really interesting because my grandmother, she was Macht was her name, and she was very, very Christian woman, old style, in a really small village in France. And so when she was younger, she had a priest in the small village, and this priest, he got like he didn't want to live in Europe anymore, and he said, I want to go and meditate and be alone in Africa.
Wow.
He was sent to this really, really small like monastery in the Sahara, but in the stone desert of Sahara, this part in Algeria. And so my grandmother, she asked me to bring him some message she wrote, okay, to say thank you to him for whatever he helped her with when she was younger. And I said, okay, that's good, that's a mission. So I was so excited, and I could go there and have the permission of my family. And I would get to this amazing, really, really small place up in the mountains, because there are like some mountains in the desert, and they are literally made of stones, so many millions of stones. And so when the sun is going up or is going down, all the colors would reflect on the stone. So you can be all in the pink environments or orange, it's amazing. It's really, really nice, amazing place. And so I got to see this old man, and he gave me a blessing, and I made my grandmother so happy. And I could see this amazing, amazing place. So I think this was one of the first really holy person I met in my life, because he was living there alone, and he was
Right.
praying the whole day, So this was really something for me. And then from there, I went to the Sahara sand part. And I was traveling around with a journalist, and he was an amazing man, and he passed away some years ago. And so it took me to visit the Tuareg people. I'm sure you have seen pictures of them. They're amazingly beautiful person, and you can see their strength, and they call them the blue men of the desert, and they have all these sari and protection on the heads. I don't know how to describe them. What they put to protect them from the sun, and you can just see the eyes, and the rest,
Like a turban.
And they have these like huge caravans of camels, and they are traders, and they trade things, and they take them from one country to another country, because there are like 3 or 4 different countries, all with borders inside the Sahara Desert.
Okay.
So they are travelers, and so I got to go to their tribes, and that was a huge experiment too, because they are a matriarchal community.
Really?
Yeah. So, and they are Muslim people. So I think this is one of the few, I guess. And
it's almost like a contradiction. Yeah.
Yeah, because the women, they keep the camp, and they keep the tipis, the tents they have. So that's the most important things, because this is how you take care of your family and of your children. That's life. When you live in the desert, you really know what life's worth, I think. No water, really small food, and you begin like really, really, you take care of life in a good way. And so they had and the men, they go with the caravan, and they're almost never there, So I guess that's why they put all the importance of life with the women. And so they have this really, really interesting ceremony that I could see, where men are lined up and women are sitting. It's a very special night of the tribe. I don't know anymore when it's taking place, because it was many, many years ago. And the men are dancing for the women, women, and the women get to choose their men, and they can be with them in their tent, and they can have children together and stay together for a while. And when they don't want them anymore, they can say, okay, now I want to be alone. But yeah, it's really amazing. I was really surprised, and it was something completely different, being from France and so conservative and just seeing a normal sort of life. So this was really, really interesting, and a lot of healing, and a lot of herbs, and a lot of way of healing the people, and preserving the food. They would put their food under the sun, they bury it, so it would keep fresh,
Wow.
And
it's really dry there. You'd think everything would be like preserved because of the dryness.
Yeah, but when you want it to be fresh, like not so hot, you bury it, like, like a really nice watermelon or something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is my cat that just I'm sorry. So yeah, so this was really, really nice. And in the very same, in this place, in this tribe, I could meet a really old forger. Okay, he was making like how do you say, what do you use to fight when you're a knight? A big blade.
Like
forge the blade.
A sword.
Yeah, swords. It would make these like crescent moon shape blades. Okay, and with a lot of like drawings and blessings on the blades. And this old guy, he was a friend of Saint-Exupéry, the writer of the Little Prince.
Oh, really?
Crossing the Sahara, yeah. Wow. And he would visit there many years ago, And so they were really, really holy people, and a really simple and healthy and good life. And I think I've never seen people honoring life such in a nice way. And they had to walk so far away to get their water, right? Because no water in the desert, as we know. And so that was amazing too, to see them like walking so far away. And with these words, I want to leave you, because it's this was a song the women were singing there to honor the water.
Oh.
And so in the Tuareg language, there's these really beautiful words that means water is life. And it's Aman Iman. Okay, so this is a nice words that you can remember when you have a glass of water, and then you can send them these good thoughts of the water is life. Please, please, maybe the water enough for everybody in the world. Aman Iman.
Aman Iman.
Right.
Aman
yes.
Iman. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Important. I think we're also wasteful and thoughtless about everything, about the food, the drinks, the everything. We always have so many things. We throw things away. You look behind a restaurant, and there's dumpsters full of food. And then you go to a place like you're describing, and I bet they don't waste anything. They probably don't waste 5 drops of water. They don't waste one date, one piece of fruit, nothing gets wasted, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way they live. And then I know that nowadays I don't know if they are extinguished, or there are few of them still, but then they were caught of all these terrible wars in this part of Africa, and so I hope they are doing good, and they can still keep on with these wonderful traditions and healthy living and really loving people and simple people. I think this is the way we should be, like, not having so many things, and just remember the essential, and the essential is life, and have enough water for your children so they can be okay.
I think that's some good wisdom. I think that the more complicated we let our lives get, the more problems we have.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to waste energy in having more things, because every time you're going to go for something else, you should think about the energy you're going to waste in this new thing, whatever it is,
So easy to throw countless energy at silly things. I think that's our...
Yes, and we need to keep our energy alive, because it's going away when we are getting older, right?
You don't ever get it back.
Right, and we want to keep on our like vital good energy inside. We don't want to be worried about this last thing I just bought, and it's going to be broken, or it's going to be stolen, or it's going to just end,
Right.
So yeah, we need to keep our energy first, so we have something good to share.
Well, that's exciting. I think that it's interesting, because the lessons that you can learn as you're meeting somebody who has a different experience, I think that's really the big thing, is that we all look out of our eyes from the experiences that we've all had, and that's all we know. And when you meet somebody from another place, you get to experience their life in a short period of time and learn from them without having to spend your whole lifetime doing it. And you can give them the experiences that you've had, and they can give you the ones you have. And, everybody can become wiser and maybe more helpful.
Right. And I think that when you see people from another place in like a short period of time, what happens is you pay attention. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to be there for just a little time, so you really focus in what's happening around, and all the contact and the connection, and what you feel and what you see, and you want to learn more and you want to see more. So I think it's all about paying attention and feeling, really looking at the people around.
Mindfulness is a huge part of this whole conversation, because I think people walk around oblivious to what they're doing. They just go through motions, and I think if we're mindful of everything that we're doing, I think we do better things. And if we're mindful of things, I think we become more grateful, because we're aware of what we're doing. And then if you're aware of what you're doing, you see its importance. But it's funny how it has to come down to scarcity to keep that important to us. So people, when they have a lot, they tend to not worry so much, because you got a lot. If you got a whole big tank of water and you drink all you can drink and you're good, you're probably not going to think about water much for a while, right? But when you had to walk 4 miles to get whatever you can carry, just so that your family can have whatever they can drink, every little gulp is important. And I think it's that scarcity. Like when you have only so much time to spend with somebody, like you said, we focus in on it, we drink it up, we don't want to miss anything, and we're careful with our time and our thoughts. And I think that's a big part of healthy living that gets squandered a lot.
Right. And still, I can see that people that have less, they have less worries. Even these people that don't have water and have to walk to get the water, they walk there singing, right?
Mhm.
and they're really happy to make this walk with their family, with their kids. And yes, they're going to bring whatever they can have, but they're going to bring it in a happy way too.
Mm.
The person you were talking about with this big tank full of water is going to worry every day that, oh, my tank is getting low, I should get some more, you know.
Right.
So this is the way. You just have to be happy and sing your song when you go for your whatever amount of water is meant to be for you and your family.
I think that's so important. I think water is such a important part of all medicine. You know, we talked a little bit about water last time and how it's everything. I mean, you know, like you just said, water is life. It really is. And I think we look at what we've done to our water in the world, and we've just let it turn into not life anymore. You know, you can't drink most of the water on the planet anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that that's maybe another big discussion on healthy living is, you know, how to protect our water.
Yes, that's a big theme, big theme. But then, yeah, so I want to take this moment to remind all the people in the world that are actually working on that, you know. There are good people working on protecting the water everywhere and planting new forests so they can create more rain and more water for every life on earth. So thank you to all these good hearts working so hard to do that for all of us, you know, all the time.
Well, I think it's also teaching people how important it is. You know, I do the same at my place. I've dug a big hole so I have water come out of the ground so that people can see that there's water in the ground. And you know, when you do that and you see the animals and the plants that come, and you know, and it's just the water. That's the only difference, right? You've been to my place, you go outside of my place, it's just desert. But you come inside where the water is and it's like a forest. And you know, that's the thing that, you know, if you can teach people the importance of this one element, you know, it's part of everything. It's part of all medicine. There's no medicine without water. There's no life without water. There's not much of anything. We have
There's no us
there's
without
no earth
water.
without water. We'd be just a barren planet with no life on it.
Yeah, and there's no us. That's what I mean. I mean, we are all water too.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
all life as we know it, all plants, all animals, we wouldn't be for 10 minutes without the water. So it's super important. Well, you know, we're doing it again. We had a great little conversation, and I knew it was going to happen. We just barely got talking, and we're running up to the end of our time, but we have a couple of minutes left, and I just wanted to give that to you to share, you know, some last important thoughts on this topic.
well, yeah, it's just about traveling and be happy and knowing nice people, and this you can do when you just get out of your house and go to the market to buy some nice organic fruits or vegetables and share some good moments with the people. So yeah.
Do you recommend that people get out and travel and visit the world and visit new people?
Yes, absolutely.
I think so too. I think that,
Especially young people.
yeah,
It's so much. It's the best learning and the best school you can have. You know, you don't learn on your
especially
phone
people that aren't
or
like you. If you
screen.
can spend time with people that have a different experience, I think that's really important, because you know, wherever you go, there's different foods, there's different language, there's different customs, there's different you know, things that are important or not important. There's things that are, you know, and even that alone causes you to be mindful. Like, you go to another place and you don't know what their customs are, you're going to be thoughtful, right?
Yeah.
because you don't want
And
to
you're going to
upset
be
them
respectful.
and not mean it. Like some people, just start charging into somebody's house and they got shoes on their feet with mud on them, and the custom of the house is everybody keeps their shoes off. You all of a sudden you got everybody looking at you like, why are you ruining my house and being so disrespectful? And you just weren't thinking.
Yeah. And it's always the same. It's all about respect, love, and pay attention,
I think that's some good medicine right there. I think, I mean, and again, I think that's the big importance of this conversation is, medicine isn't just a pill. It's not just a potion. It's not just some plants ground up. It's all the things we do. And sometimes it's all the things we don't do. And I think mindfulness and courtesy and respect and love, if we could just have those things alone and add that to everything we do, I think we'd have a lot less illness and a lot more healthy living. And if we had healthy water, historically through all of history, waterborne disease has been one of the biggest problems that mankind has ever faced, always. And we now have technology and the ability to have clean water. And yet we still have people that don't have clean water. So, I think that us sharing awareness and sharing the respect and maybe not tolerating. I remember when we were down in Mexico, there was that group of people that were standing up because there was people that were going to come down and they were going to put dams up, and they were going to ruin their water. And they were standing up and they were literally challenging these big corporations. And there was people standing guard and not letting these people in. They were literally risking their lives and their well-being to protect their water. And that was so impressive. I mean, that was, remember we gave them a little bit of money, a little something we could do to help, what a little thing we could. But I felt such a deep respect for those people that were willing to really, make a sacrifice for that greater good.
Yeah. Fight for their children.
Exactly. All right, Claire. Well, we're running to the end of it. So I'm going to go ahead and I thank you for being here again. And I'm hoping we can do this a lot of times because time goes by so fast. I feel like we're going to have to do 40 or 50 of these to get through half of the information, but we'll do it one at a time. Yeah, we'll just do them one at a time. And as we get time, there's always lots to talk about. So again, thank you for being on the show. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how somebody can get a hold of you, and we'll give you the parting shot.
Yeah, please write to me if you have anything to share on my email, and that's Del Sol Medicina, DELSOLMEDICINA.gmail.com, or the same name in Instagram, or Holagala, HOLAGALA.com. Please Excellent. Share with me like I want to share with you, so you can make we can make all together a new network of nice people that want to share good things together.
Absolutely. And that is the plan. So I will put all your contact information when this gets published so that everybody can just click the link and they'll know how to get a hold of you. And if you can give me a little bio and a picture, I can put you up as one of the guests, and that'll also include all those things. So, Super. All right, Claire. Well, until next time, I can't wait to do this again, and we'll talk more. Thank you, everybody. And thanks for joining Healthy Living.
Thank you, people, for listening. Thank you so much.